Hey guys, Kevin TCG here. So a couple weeks back I attended locals as I was taking a break from getting ready to move, and now I moved. Since it's the new season, I retired my old Roaring Miraidon deck, and I wanted to play some new cards, and I was gonna build a new deck, but I really didn't have that much time to invest myself into the new meta. So I did the next best thing, and I used my solo prize Jank deck. Here's how much testing I did. I recorded 2 hours of footage, cut it all down, made a video about it, then months later, I tweak the deck, go on Pokemon Live, and proceed to school Charizards and Arcanines because apparently that's the only thing I run into. Then I decide that's good enough, let's go to my local tourneys and see how it does. Well, let's just say, could have been better.
Pretty good. That one's like going on.
Alright, it's my first tournament since LA Regionals, and we're back here. I'm running a little jank deck that I featured in one of my previous videos. We'll see how far I get. I'm literally still brain blasted from the last regionals I went to, and I'm also going into a new format or new rotation of cards coming in, so I'm very excited to see what the meta is. The only practice I had was playing live for a little bit, so we'll see how far I get. So I'm adding in Jamming Tower, Forest Seal Stone, and Rotom B, taking out Hassel, Turbo Energize, and Mew EX. I realize I don't use Mew that much, so I think it's okay to sacrifice with the Rotom B. The rest of this deck, it's a single prize deck, and you haven't seen this video, you'll see what's going to happen here.
So this deck is, I think I gave the name of like Mewtwo, Mimikyu Mewtwo. A more appropriate name is like Reflection Stall or something. So the point is Mewtwo has this move called Reflect, or is it Reflection? Anyways, if you hit him, he hits you back. And that's the whole point. It's you hit me hard, I hit you back hard. And if I'm facing a Charizard, which hits for double weakness because that dark typing, I hit you back for instant KO. This deck is mainly good against Charizard, and that's about it. Because you can also hit him, like one-shot his Charmeleons or Charmanders as well. And Mimikyu's in there to stall. And there's some supporting characters like Xatu to be your engine, and you have, what's your name? Tulip. You have Tulip in there to help revive Mewtwo's when they get knocked out, or Mimikyu's, and bring those energies back into your pile. And it runs like 12 psychic energy, and the supporter cards, it could be better. I used what I had in my immediate vicinity. I didn't really go digging in through my bulk to see how I can improve this. It's a matter of I'll just slap it together and call it good, right?
Alright, round 1 against Greninja, 0-1. It was my first time actually playing against it. I think Frostlass and Monkey Dory were the heroes of the show, because they kept doing passive damage, which ended up being in their favor. I managed to knock out their Greninja in my second turn. Mewtwo did Reflective Barrier, and then Ceruledge came in and cleaned up afterwards. But then their Pidgey came in and kind of just hit the rest of my team. I didn't really have bench set up correctly. Opponent and I apparently haven't played too much in the new rotation, so very excited to see where this is going to go. Round 2, Gardevoir, 0-2. Bad matchup. Screamtail smacked me around, took out my bench. I didn't know that Screamtail could do that. He just kept sniping me with this move right here. It didn't matter even if I knocked it out because they were able to pull it back in with Super Rod. Because Mewtwo did Side Slash for 110 because I had a double turbo on it, or 100. But again, it didn't really matter because they were able to bring it back out, take out my bench. They took out a Rotom V, which is pretty beefy, so I didn't have an answer for that. To quickly knock out his Screamtail because my Ceruledge was like in the deck. I didn't pull great cards. I didn't even pull Arvin. All I had was Tulip twice and a Buddy Pop. And if I kept building my bench, he'd just keep targeting my Pokemon. Oh, I'm so tired. I don't know. I forgot how grueling this can be. Currently 0-3. Ogre Pawn versus Regidrago. probably the closest match I've had so far. I almost made my opponent deck out. He literally had one card, he pulled it, and he used Regidrago, and went back to Regidrago's discard pile. And he could use old, like, Dragon Pokemon in the discard pile, he could use their moves, so he pulled out Rhydon, which is effective against, and cuts through, like, Mimikyu's ability. So, I was able to do that, and knock me out. Literally, he could have decked out and I would have won, but that wasn't the case. He kept pulling out my Mewtwo early with like Prime Catcher and like purposefully targeting him. The Tatsugiri cooked with Arven in the top deck, but could only do so much. Didn't really matter as he slowly picked me off and I really couldn't pull out a really good move. But he was scared and he very interested in the deck. It's definitely getting a lot of attention as it does what? What does Mewtwo do? It's pretty fun so far. Not as fun as the next round though, because the next round for Gardevoir, again, bad matchup. I think it's just an awful matchup because Screamtail all day to my bench is awful. Unless I have Manaphy, maybe Jirachi. Not much to say, just gotta get better. On to the next one. All right, final round in the books. Let me fix this lighting. Final round in the books. I felt like I'm so tired. I'm just so tired. I was against Archeops, Lugia, or I guess Lugia V-Star. I had no answer. I had nothing. I just couldn't pull anything. Tulip was gone. Arven made an appearance once. On the bright side, I got this cool card they were giving away. A nice little evolution with the stamp right in the center. So who's the loser now, even though I'm going 0-5 for the night? So I think it'll be a while since I start up running a funky deck again. So this is definitely a precursor into me going straight back into the meta. It's a fun experiment, but I am exhausted and I'm also moving next week, and we've been packing stuff all week. But I had to get back into it.
To recap, because NAIC recently wrapped up around this time frame, everybody wanted to test out the top decks. In this case, it was Gardevoir. Probably one of the worst matchups for this poor deck. The Screamtail literally was my kryptonite. This was a fun experiment, but it definitely killed my drive in playing for that entire week. To be fair, there's a reason why this deck isn't meta. To improve this deck, I think you would need to find some more solid trainer cards to search your deck with. So in this case, more draw support, like a Radiant Greninja or a Bibarel or Babarrel. And I think that would marginally improve it. In terms of new meta decks, what should I build? I mean, I was leaning towards Raging Bolt Ogerpon. I really don't want to run Gardevoir. I think I'd be okay with Dragapult, but we'll see. Let me know in the comments down below. I did have a couple friends take a look at it and made some tweaks to it. And one recommendation was actually add Ispather to it. That did add a fun element, but it's not really what I was going for, because at that point I might as well just make it centered around Ispather. One thing I forgot to mention, I should also mention it has Armarouge. No, not Armarouge. Ceruledge. And Ceruledge is mainly there, he's in there twice, mainly there to come back cleanup. Essentially, you deal some damage and then he comes in and sweeps it all up. So let's say Mewtwo is knocked out, but he gets reflected, and that remaining EX Pokemon, it's most likely going to be an EX Pokemon because of the way the meta is. That EX Pokemon has 100 or so HP, or goodness forbid, like 200 HP remaining. So Ceruledge is there to knock him out because he does how much more damage? This much more damage if it's an active EX Pokemon. So that's why I added him in. Not for Armarouge, for Ceruledge, because it's actually kind of cool to use and cleans up real nicely. The only dual prize Pokemon I have is Rotom V, and I didn't use him at all. And I think I put a Forest Seal Stone in there. It's not worth it. I should just stick with one prize card only. It's a fun deck. I recommend you try it out. and try to improve it, it's not meta for a reason. So that I won't stop using decks like these, single prize jank decks, or just jank decks in general at tournaments. But I'll definitely try to improve it more and more each time. I didn't have an ace spec in there. I could have added an ace spec. I could have had more draw engine Pokemon in there. But I just decided to run with what I have because I had so little time at the moment and I just wanted to play Pokemon. My boy Jake hit me up. He says he has lots of decks built, so I'm probably gonna take advantage of that, and next time I participate in a tourney pretty soon, I'll go ahead and borrow one of his decks. Have you guys ran any jank decks in tournaments before? Let me know in the comments below. I really actually want to hear what you guys ran, and maybe I'll try and build something like that if it's recent enough. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content in the future. With that being said, my name is Kevin TCG, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
夜の電車が心地よくて